giving you DeAndre Williams, who just became eligible for Penny Hardaway and the Tigers. And this kid is special. Kid, maybe not. He's as old as Kevin Brown, 24 years old. Why is he special? Because Penny Hardaway says he's not only their best player, but also the best leader on this Memphis Tiger team. This Santa coach is jacked along with Blitzen to bring you the American on ESPN2 tonight.
All right, that's not entirely fair. I'm at least like 6 months older than DeAndre Williams. Let's get it right, Mark. Tulsa will start with the ball. The road team, the Golden Hurricane, 2-3. Their only conference game, a home loss to Wichita State. And Tulsa gets the scoring started with a long jumper, Keyshawn Embry-Simpson, the Arkansas transfer, with the first bucket. Golden Hurricane 21-10 a season ago.
He's a guy that at times has struggled to make shots, but off to a good start here this evening. Good news for Tulsa.
Look at the Memphis starting five. It is a big starting five. Lester Quinones will start at the nominal point guard position. Williams makes his first start with Memphis in his second game, along with Landers Nolly, the Virginia Tech transfer, DJ Jeffries, and a five-star freshman, Moussa Cisse. This is a step back from Curtis Haywood, the Georgia Tech transfer. No offensive rebound, and the stick back from Emmanuel Ugbo will not fall. Quinones, a transition three off the heel and grabbed by Haywood.
Well, one thing we know for sure, Kevin, Memphis is not shy. They like to get up and down. They like pace. They like to manufacture points off of pressure and the offensive glass.
Back inside to Ugbo, working on the freshman Cisse, and he scores. The 7-foot senior from Lagos, Nigeria.
A really good start for Tulsa. A little bit of outside basketball, a little bit of inside basketball.
It's a Memphis team that is likely without Alex Lomax today. We're told that he's not likely to play after not participating in shoot-around. One of their point guards as Brandon Rashall hits the deck for Tulsa. Penny Hardaway, third year with Memphis, a big day for him. He agreed to a 5-year extension worth more than $12 million, extending his contract through 2026. Talked to Penny before the game. He said, "It shows the university believes me, and they're going to support me to help build my culture here."
And Kevin, that culture means stability for this Memphis basketball program. That's how you win and win big over time.
Recruiting classes have been superlative for Penny Hardaway, but last year's team would not have made the NCAA tournament outside of a deep conference tournament run. And they are hoping to turn the corner and turn the page with an older team in year 3 off the block shot by Cisse. Memphis has the ball, and DJ Jeffries, the sophomore, their most talented player.
DJ Jeffries has changed, become more of a team guy, more unselfish.
Foul against Tulsa. We take a look at Frank Haith. 7 years at Tulsa, 118 wins. Number 119 will tie him with Nolan Richardson for third all-time in Tulsa head coaching victories. Pretty good company, Mark.
No, really good company, especially for a guy that started his coaching career coaching girls basketball at Western Middle School in Elon, North Carolina. We're talking about a guy that's come up through the ranks, worked so hard, X's and O's, supreme type of leader of this Tulsa program.
Off the miss from Jeffries, here is Elijah Joyner, the senior for Tulsa, playing in his 99th career game. On the wing, a three missed. And Memphis has the ball after 4 straight empty possessions to start. Wild runner, no good for Damian Baugh, who just checked into the game. And then Haywood is stripped. It's a tremendous Memphis defense. Their struggles have been offensively, but they can get out and run. And Jeffries pushes back the miss from Baugh.
Now, this is the type of pace, the type of game that Memphis wants. They want to get up and down. They want quick shots by Tulsa, and quick long shots lead to long rebounds.
Joyner's pass knocked away, the long arms of DeAndre Williams, the junior, on the deflection. We touched on the story a little bit in the open, Mark, but it is remarkable. He's 24 years old. He's on a Memphis team that has been built the last couple of years on freshmen. There are 18-year-old teammates on this team. DeAndre Williams is 6 years older than some of his teammates. He's older than most of the Memphis Grizzlies roster, the other tenants of FedEx Forum.
He told Penny Hardaway in their initial conversation, "I'm different. I play like every game is going to be my last game." That's the maturity, Kevin, of a 24-year-old in that white jersey tonight for the Memphis Tigers.
And he just took the ball up but lost it, couldn't get it back. Tulsa on the run out, and an offensive foul will go against the Golden Hurricane. It's been an emotional season for Frank Haith, an emotional year. He opened up to some folks in Tulsa. Frank's nephew, Sean Bell, was shot and killed by police 14 years ago in 2006. He had never spoken about it until this summer.
I feel really guilty about it, and I talked to my team about this too, that I didn't use that platform to speak about it. And I was ashamed. You know, I don't know that I felt comfortable. I don't know that I felt it was right to, I didn't want to say the wrong thing. It's something that's been with me for a long time. I just never talked about it. I know I feel better.
Frank Haith, Tulsa head coach. Mark, you and I have gotten to know him pretty well. The story with him, his nephew Sean Bell was 23 years old, killed by police in New York City in 2006. Morning of his wedding day, was shot in Queens while leaving his bachelor party. 50 rounds fired into his car. He was killed, 2 friends wounded. 3 detectives went to trial, found not guilty. That's the situation. And Frank Haith, in the year after, said he didn't want to speak about it because the case was still pending. He didn't want to get into any legal trouble or anything of that nature. And he was raw and emotional when speaking about that earlier this year, and then when speaking about it with us earlier today. I know you do, and I'm with you here, admire the public face Frank Haith has put on what has to be one of the rawest moments of his personal life.
What I love about the story is what he learned and how he grew. He eventually called his brother and apologized for not using his forum to bring about some justice for Sean Bell, and he felt bad about that. He also apologized to his team for not speaking out, even today. And he and his team had soul searching together through the process. And Kevin, you know, when Frank talks about, I didn't know what to say, I feel the same way. And as our country has gone through a social reckoning and recognition of where we're at today on racial issues, I reached out to a friend like Kelvin Sampson of the Houston Cougars, who is a friend of mine. I coached against him, I coached with him. He said, asked, what can I do to help? He gave me 2 pieces of advice. Number 1 is listen, Mark. Talk to your players. Talk to your friends. Listen. And don't be afraid to communicate when things are on your mind. And those have been 2 pieces of advice, Kevin, that I've followed. And obviously that Frank Haith followed that up with me when I saw him in Kansas City, along with Conzo Martin just recently at Missouri. And now I got 2 ears and 1 mouth, and I am listening accordingly. And then I'm communicating when it's appropriate.
I think there are a lot of groups you can say the following statement about, but particularly for college athletes and their coaches and administrators. They've used their public platforms in so many wonderful ways this year. The Tulsa team, early June, they went on a unity walk to the Greenwood Cultural Center, honor the lives of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and Frank Haith took them there to learn more about Tulsa's Black Wall Street and the 1921 Race Massacre, which is a moment in Tulsa's history that I didn't know about coming into this season. I know a lot of folks did not either. Eye-opening for the Tulsa players, for Frank Haith, and some conversations they've had and are continuing to have that you cannot put a price on the value of the sort of things they've been able to talk about this year.
You know, and Kevin, the American is a shining example of what the hiring practices in college basketball should be. 7 of the 11 head coaches in this league are black. And all of them are tremendously talented, and they've earned these positions. They're the highest paying conferences in the country, the football playing conferences. Less than 13% of the head coaches in those highest paying leagues are black. You got to ask why. And hats off to the American as a shining light of what college basketball does look like and should look like with these talented head coaches like Penny Hardaway and Frank Haith.
Penny Hardaway looks like he's going to be here for a long time now after that 5-year extension he signed today. By the way, DeAndre Williams had the last Memphis bucket. Williams has 4 out of the first 6 in his first Memphis start. This is the freshman Moussa Cisse, and it has been a sloppy 6 minutes and 40 seconds to open this game. 4th Memphis turnover against a couple for Tulsa, and the teams both shooting just 3 of 12. And that's thrown away by Idowu.
There's so many fits and starts to this season. It is hard to get a rhythm.
A jam there from Jaden Hardaway, Penny's son, off the bench with the most authoritative moment of the opening 7 minutes.
Boy, Jaden Hardaway with a flyaway. Yeah, flex him. Take off. Deposit. Jaden Hardaway with the slam. I love that.
How many times do you think Dad pulled that one off in a game?
Well, enough to be an NBA All-Star multiple times, so obviously often. And in fact, you know, Jaden's going to come home and say, Dad, you see the dunk? All Dad's got to do is just go to the VCR with the old videos.
Sorry, what's a VCR?
I know.
You explain that one to me and DeAndre Williams.
The era.
Emmanuel Ugbo is fouled. Like father, like son. There's Jaden Hardaway, the redshirt sophomore.
Now, these are the live ball turnovers that Frank Haith absolutely despises, and that's why. Good defense leads to easy offense, and right there, that's an example for the Memphis Tigers.
Darian Jackson is out off the bench for Tulsa. Austin Richie as well. Golden Hurricane will go 9 or 10 deep. A flat 3 there from Haywood. And Tulsa's 0 for 5 from 3-point range. Jeffries, Tulsa sideline wanted to walk. Instead of deflection, ends up in Quinones' hands. Lester Quinones with a spinorama, the left hand, no! But the follow there from Cisse.
Moussa Cisse is only a freshman, and what Penny Hardaway has tried to do is keep the game simple, let him face the basket a little bit, but also manufacture some points off the offensive glass. That time Cisse did exactly what his head coach wants him to do.
6 in a row now for Memphis, and a takeaway for Cisse, the 6'10 freshman who played his final year of high school ball here in Memphis. Penny Hardaway likes to say
right here. There he is.
His team plays positionless basketball, Mark, and how about the 6'7 Jeffries running the point and getting Cisse to draw a foul. Jaden Hardaway out of Memphis, Tennessee. His father, the pride of Memphis, looking like Dad. Get up, Jaden. Every year since 1920-21, with the exception of one season for World War II. 3 trips to the Final Four. They've come close, oh so close, as the folks in Memphis know. In 2008, have never won the national championship. Penny Hardaway has been very clear about his mission. He says he is here to win championships, and he considers this program to be a program that should be among the likes of Kansas and Duke and Kentucky and the likes. They haven't been there yet in his first couple of seasons. The administration signaling today with a 5-year extension. They are willing to give him plenty of time to try and achieve that goal. On the drive, Darian Jackson with a miss, and here is DJ Jeffries for Memphis, which has held Tulsa to 1 for its last 10 from the field.
Kevin, that 5-year contract means now that this program can get older. That's how you win in the American, with seasoned veterans And that's exactly what Memphis needs to do. The youth movement only gets you so far, but you need guys like DeAndre Williams at 24 years old to bring maturity to the program.
Off the takeaway, Jeffries will throw it back out in transition to Landers Nolly. 0 for 2 from the field to start for Nolly, who is Memphis' leading scorer, 14.5 per game out of Virginia Tech.
Keep your eye on number 3 in white, Landers Nolly. My advice to him is keep shooting.
Penny Hardaway called him the best shooter in the country when talking to us. Jeffries at the shot clock's expiration from Kawhi Leonard corner. He gets it to fall.
Well, he is letting the game come to him. And that time, the ball came to him late in the shot clock and just splash.
Memphis' second leading scorer and rebounder, DJ Jeffries. Brandon Rashall, the all-conference player. A very quiet start tonight, but Rashall hits the first three-pointer of the game for either side.
Well, he can score in bunches. He's their best defender and their best offensive weapon. Keep an eye on number 1 in black tonight, Brandon Rashall. All-conference type talent.
Good ball movement, Boogie Ellis. Ellis drains a 3 right in front of the Tulsa bench.
But Memphis really attacking the corner of the Tulsa defense. That's where they feel Tulsa is vulnerable.
Here's Austin Richie. Maybe their best three-point shooter, they think. Junior college All-American last year. And off of his miss, the ball brought up by Boogie Ellis. Ellis inside, fighting for his own miss. And he will hit the deck as Darian Jackson dribbles away for Tulsa.
They drove into 4 black jerseys there. Bad decision, which leads to early offense for Tulsa. Can't convert.
2 missed threes in a row by Richie. Tulsa's 1 for 8 from deep. Williams, strong drive, and Williams draws the contact.
I like Memphis in the way they're spacing the floor and finding the open man. That was a little bit of a mistake, but DJ Jeffries good enough to make a mistake into a triple. And look at the ball movement right there. The ball gets ahead of the rotation of the defense. This is where Tulsa was a little bit better last year with Martin Zibanu in the middle of a kind of a traffic cop, if you will. They don't quite have as crisp of rotations as they did a year ago, but also because of COVID, that might be a reason why.
Well, they were 34th in the country last year, Mark, in defensive efficiency, and we talked to Frank Haith about this today. He said this team's going to play a lot more man-to-man. It already has played a lot more. That's in part the personnel. You mentioned the lack of Igbanu. In part because they usually play more zone as the season goes along, and they haven't had the time preseason because of COVID-19 to install most of the zone defense he likes.
And that's what the average fan doesn't understand. Like I saw Cincinnati last week, and Cincinnati didn't look like they were functional. They looked like parts and pieces that were trying to work together versus a team that had really come together. It just takes time, especially when you get fits and starts at practice time.
Tulsa with only 4 field goals made, 5 turnovers in the game, and that one leans in from Ray Idowu, junior transfer out of Illinois State, who scored between 7 and 10 off the bench in every game.
Idowu is really critical to give an inside presence to this Tulsa basketball team. They're guard rich. They need their big guys to develop fast.
Damian Baugh off the mark for 3. Elijah Joyner will push it for Tulsa. 10 newcomers on this Golden Hurricane team, picked to finish 6th in the 11-team American. A face-up from Idowu, and he draws a foul. The lead 5 for Memphis early, trying to go to 2-0 in conference play. All amazing matchups available on the ESPN app. You're going to see some former Memphis Tigers in those games. James Wiseman and the Warriors against the Bucks. Precious Achiuwa and the Heat against Zion and the Pelicans. Only other time Memphis has had 2 first-round picks other than 2006. And yes, I know James Wiseman only played a couple of games at Memphis, but technically he is still a Memphis draft pick, and he is the 2nd highest draft pick in Memphis history, in between a couple of guys, Mark Adams, you may have heard of.
Yeah, Derrick Rose actually called his very first game as a Memphis Tiger, and then some guy named Penny Hardaway. How cool is it that you not only coach the team, but then you go on ESPN and you see the #3 overall pick by the Warriors. In '93, of course, made his legend along with Lil Penny, and he played for the Orlando Magic. And one of the really good guys, too. I mean, a guy that speaks his mind. You always know where he stands. All of those experiences in life, both the successful ones and the others, give him a perspective as a coach that I find very unique and very refreshing.
Most candid head coach that I've spoken to this season so far, Penny Hardaway. Always enjoy our conversations with him. And we'll be seeing a lot of his Memphis Tigers on our ESPN networks throughout the year. Quinones had to step back, and Memphis is excelling with the shot clock between 1 and 0. Lester Quinones with the long 2.
Yeah, he had 20 in the road win at Tulane, and of course Memphis now 1-0 coming into this game. Quinones, when he gets it going, he can light up in a hurry.
Darian Jackson on the run around, trying to feed Idowu, and it's knocked away. Another Tulsa turnover, their 6th. Memphis scored 8 points off the first 5 Tulsa turnovers.
Great ball movement, great spacing, good patience by Memphis.
Here is Williams in his 2nd Memphis game. Quinones will operate. Off the screen from Ahmad Rand, the JUCO transfer. Ellis into the lane, hop step, got it up at the shot clock buzzer. Offensive rebound, Williams. Out to Nolly, and another offensive rebound this time for Rand.
Well, Memphis so good at getting offensive rebounds, they're manufacturing extra possessions. That's exactly what Frank Haith, that gave him nightmares last night. And Memphis all over the offensive glass on this possession.
Inside Williams, 1 to shoot. And a shot clock violation. Doug Shows with the call. Doug Shows, Rob Rourke, Vladimir Voyard, Tadell, by the way, our officiating crew today. Hey, tomorrow on ESPN2 and our ESPN app, great Big 12 basketball doubleheader. We start at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, Texas Tech and Oklahoma, followed by West Virginia and Kansas. 2 of the top 7 teams in the country in that game, and what promises to be another loaded year for the Big 12. Baylor in the top 2, along with Gonzaga, Kansas right behind them, West Virginia right behind them. Should be a fantastic league this year, Mark Adams, the Big 12.
That TT logo doesn't stand for Texas Tech. It stands for tough and tenacious, as in Chris Beard defense. That's going to be a really fun matchup between Matt McClung and that Oklahoma bunch. That's going to be a dogfight with Grady Manick and company. You like that, Kevin, the tenacious and tough?
Well, I actually just checked with our legal department, and they wanted me to inform you that it actually does stand for Texas Tech.
Does it?
Yeah, just to get the record straight.
Now, well, I won't get sued, will I?
Well, you haven't yet, so I think you're in the clear.
I mean, the Santa coach cannot get sued. I just don't see how that can happen.
Santa has immunity.
Yes.
In the lane, Idowu sticks it in after the Quinones jumper. Tulsa really struggling for the field. Just 6 for 22. And in the last 11 minutes, Golden Hurricane have scored just 7 points.
I saw Idowu in Kansas City for the Hall of Fame Classic, and he was trying to catch up to the game. He was thinking at the same time while trying to play Frank Haith's style. He looks more comfortable in there tonight.
A great find, Williams. The layup not converted by Ahmad Rand, and it's chased down by Williams, who throws it into the backcourt. Did he have possession? Yes, so it is a backcourt violation. Good idea, though.
Yeah, great idea.
He's really made an impact, DeAndre Williams, and he's got 5 points right now, but 5 rebounds, an assist, a block, 2 steals. You see why Penny Hardaway calls this young man, who is not so young as far as college goes, the best all-around player on this team right now.
Yeah, Penny Hardaway called his AAU coaches, who he knew, and when he first spoke to him, he kind of had him at hello. This was a relationship that developed very quickly, and DeAndre Williams has found a great home here in Memphis.
It's an amazing story, and we can get into it more as the broadcast goes on. But Williams has played major minutes today. Richie splashes down to 3 deep in the shot clock. And Austin Richie, who hit 5 threes in the last game against Northwestern State, is finally on the board.
Yeah, he had not shot the ball well up until Northwestern State. He was 5 for 10 from three-point land, had 19 points in that game. That opened the window for opportunity for Austin Richie tonight, taking advantage of it.
Hardaway gets rid of it to Lance Thomas. Back to Hardaway. And Jaden Hardaway misses a 3. Another shot very deep in the shot clock for Memphis. Joyner on the deck. He managed to get a timeout before rolling around for a possible travel. 20-16, a hard-fought Memphis lead. An emotional night 2 in the American for these conference rivals. To withdraw from high school for a time. He went to charter school. He was homeschooled for a time. He was out of school working a job for a time. Had to go to night school, Penny Hardaway told us, to get his credits up. He went to Evansville and was not academically eligible because credits didn't carry over from his previous schools for that first year. So he couldn't take a red shirt per NCAA regulations. That was his true freshman year. He was not able to redshirt. He comes back as a true sophomore for his first season last year. And he had a fantastic year, 15.7 rebounds, shot 65% before a back injury knocked him out of the remainder of the season. Ended up in the transfer portal. Penny Hardaway, as we talked about earlier, had one conversation with him and felt like he essentially found a basketball soulmate. And DeAndre Williams was cleared 1 week ago, last week on Wednesday, when the Division I Council voted to make all transfers eligible this season due to the circumstances around COVID-19. So he was cleared hours before the Tulane game he played because of this ruling, and the council is going to consider a permanent rule change next month. He's cleared hours before the game. All he does, Mark, in 17 minutes, scored 10 points, grabbed 6 rebounds, he had a putback dunk 19 seconds into the game, and Memphis was a plus 13 in his 17 minutes of gameplay.
And Kevin, the best part of this story is the fact that he worked multiple jobs throughout that timeline. Why? To help support his mother. You talk about a mother and a son and the teamwork together, and to keep his eye on the dream of someday playing Division I basketball. And now at 24 years old, he said, I'm different. I play like every game is going to be my last game. Penny Hardaway says he never takes a day off. He wins every scrimmage. Why? He's playing for his mother just like he worked for his mother. Tremendous young man, a great success story, and I'm happy to be a part of it tonight to tell his story.
Tulsa turns it over, and when Penny Hardaway said his team never loses scrimmages, he said to us, no, literally his team has not lost a single scrimmage this year. And the other amazing part of this, that DeAndre Williams is 24 years old, older than 9 Memphis Grizzlies players, and he's playing on a team that is populated with young 5-star talent. He is the outlier, and maybe the outlier that Memphis needs. As there's a foul on the drive from Embry Simpson, who will go to the line for Tulsa.
He owns the locker room, and if I could be constructively critical of the Memphis teams I've seen over the last couple of years, there were some young egos in that locker room that I think sometimes were speaking out of turn. DeAndre Williams now is allowing everyone to first listen, and if you're going to speak, speak in turn. That's what a 24-year-old that's worked his way to Division I basketball brings to a locker room at Memphis. He is a breath of fresh air, and culturally, he's a perfect fit for Penny Hardaway, and Hardaway loves him.
And his teammate Lance Thomas commits the foul. Embry Simpson gets the favorable bounce on the free throw. Here comes Mr. Williams right back into the game. Penny couldn't keep him on the bench for long in the midst of a 7-0 Tulsa run.
Kevin, you know who I think has benefited the most from having DeAndre Williams on his team? DJ Jeffries. DJ Jeffries was looking to go to the NBA instead of looking to win games for his team. And now, because of Williams' influence, DJ Jeffries is now he's not in a rush to get to the NBA. He's in a rush to get to the NCAA tournament and win national championship. There's a big difference between a guy that wants to go to the NBA and is using college just as a launching pad to a guy that really buys into the team concept and wants to help you win a national title.
Embry Simpson 2 for 2. There was a lane violation between those free throws, and Tulsa has sliced a 9-point deficit down to 1. Memphis team, which likes to play at such a frenetic pace, has had some long and at times lethargic possessions. Quinones from Williams, and Quinones buries a 3. The assist, Williams second, and Quinones leads the way with 7 points.
Kevin, one of the reasons for those long possessions is because Tulsa's been changing up between man and zone. They went zone that possession, and Memphis made the adjustment, but they recognized they have about 10 seconds on the shot clock, and they set that little baseline screen for the wide open J.
Embry Simpson short on a 3-pointer. Quinones with a 6th rebound to go with 7 points. He has Memphis's last 7. Hardaway finds him. Hardaway from Quinones along 2. Right now, Penny Hardaway's move to start Lester Quinones at point guard looks awfully good as Jeffries' block shot brings the ball back into his teammates' hands.
Now, Quinones has some Ron Harper in this game. Remember Ron Harper played for the Chicago Bulls? Similar type player, physical guard.
Boy, Williams a wild flyby, and DeAndre Williams flips it up and in. Memphis has quickly burst back into an 8-point lead, a 7-0 run. Here's Rashal on the tape, and a blocking foul is the call. It will go against Quinones, picks up his 2nd foul. By the way, Moussa Cisse also on the bench with 2 fouls for Memphis.
Boy, just long steps to the basket, the physical strength to finish. I mean, look, he's an emotional leader. He just fires this team up. He has a positive way of getting into his teammates' heads to play the right way, to play harder, to play well. I love this kid.
Quinones takes a seat for Boogie Ellis. Some substitutions for both teams in the final 30 seconds. Brandon Rashal at the line. Tulsa's leading scorer with only 3 points.
This offensive possession, look for DJ Jeffries, and Penny Hardaway's going to take a timeout. And we'll talk about what they're going to do right after this break.
So, what should we do today?
Can we get to the sun?
Mom? Can we go to the beach?
Should we just go see a movie?
Yes.
I'm always up for a good movie.
Go Rogue in the all-new fiercely reimagined Nissan Rogue.
Coming up on the E-Trade halftime report, Talon Cuff, Seth Greenberg, Sean Farnham. Another big win for the Zags. Another day of struggles on and off the court for John Calipari and Kentucky. That's coming up in under 30 seconds. Mark, what do you look for in this final possession?
Watch for number 0, DJ Jeffries. Number 12, DeAndre Williams. Look for a misdirection play. They'll bring the ball, swing the ball one side, and then look for Jeffries on the opposite side. Look for Williams in the mid-range.
Jeffries
right there.
Nolly, good look, missed it. Offensive rebound by Hardaway, and his stick back off the front of the rim. 27-19. It is not an offensive first half that will go to the MoMA, but it's the kind of game that Memphis has been winning the last couple of years. One of the great defensive teams in the country under Penny Hardaway. And the Tigers lead it by 8. 27-19 at the half. Dallin Cuff, Seth Greenberg, and Sean Farnham in the studio. Coming up, conference game for Memphis and Tulsa this year. The Tigers lead at the break by 8. Kevin Brown, Mark Adams, we've enjoyed the second Memphis game, Mark, of DeAndre Williams.
Yeah, what does maturity look like? It looks like the extra effort on the offensive glass. It looks like deflections on the defensive end. It looks like making the extra pass. DeAndre Williams looks like a winner to me. Scoring over taller defenders. Long step to the basket. You talk about a guy that's leveraging every inch of talent in his body. 7 points, 3 for 5, 5 rebounds. That doesn't even get into assists that he's done, steals and everything else. He has been stuffing the stat sheet for one Penny Hardaway and the Memphis Tigers. Love this kid.
2 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, by the way. He played 18 minutes to lead Memphis in the first half. Tulsa, 7 made field goals, 7 turnovers. Golden Hurricane have had a really rough offensive half, thanks in part to a smothering Memphis defense. But this is still only an 8-point game. DJ Jeffries on the penetration, way off the mark, and a foul on the ground as Moussa Cisse came flying in for the rebound. Only 4 minutes in the first half for Cisse because of foul trouble.
You know, one of the adjustments for Penny Hardaway, he's going to want to run faster-paced offense. In the first half, this team spent a lot of time setting their offense versus attacking the rim. And he wants more pace to start the second half. For the season, their average possession is about 15 seconds. Tonight, it's 21 seconds per possession.
Why is that?
Because Tulsa typically has been a zone team over the last couple of seasons. Now they run a mix of both zone and man. And Memphis is taking time to read the defense. And it's been taking them somewhere between 7 to 10 seconds to actually get set in their offensive sets.
Brandon Rashawn with a miss. He's got just 3 points, 1 for 4 from the field. Tulsa's leading scorer. And we've got a whistle behind the play. Cisse is hobbling after he was late to get back into the action.
Well, Moussa Cisse can go up and change shots just like that. Came down on his ankle trying to block that shot. You know, Kevin, I coached one of the greatest shot blockers in NCAA history and actually led the country in block shots for 2 consecutive years. Moussa Cisse is one of those guys I'd love to coach. He really gets it on how to block shots.
Averaged 9 blocks a game at prep school last year, and he is on the bench right now with what hopefully is not too severe of an injury landing on DeAndre Williams' foot. Boogie Ellis is in. Memphis goes smaller. And Tulsa attacks the center of the defense. Emmanuel Ugbo with his second bucket.
Boy, really good footwork down low by Emmanuel Ugbo. The big Nigerian, normally a rim defender right there, showed some nifty footwork down low.
And Jeffries with an unforced error just shoved his way into an illegal screen in his second foul.
Puts the ball down, doesn't travel, takes the ball off with his left hand. Good decisive move down low, a little whirling dervish.
And a foul before the inbounds. That's Lester Quinones defending. And Quinones has just picked up his 3rd. All right, what do you do here if you're Penny Hardaway? 3 fouls on Quinones this quickly into the second half.
I think you've got to take him out. One thing that Memphis has is depth. Penny can rely on that depth. And Quinones will step out. But without Alex Lomax, this now becomes a real game story.
Damian Baugh is in. And Elijah Joyner of Tulsa just been called for a technical foul. That will be Joyner's second foul. So 3 fouls called in 0 seconds of game time. And Landers Nolley hits the technical free throw.
You can feel that both these teams is a little bit frustrated right now. And there's the point guard, Alex Lomax, originally had signed at Wichita State when Penny Hardaway became the head coach at Memphis. Alex Lomax wanted to come back and play for his high school coach. Greg Marshall and Wichita State let him out of his letter of intent, and here he is at Memphis.
All right, it'll be Tulsa ball. Technical is against Joyner. Nolly hits the free throws. Landers Nolly with his first points, by the way. And here is Tulsa with the ball down 8. Joyner, a very quiet first half. He did not score. Was 0 for 1 in 16 minutes, 1 shot attempt. Haywood off the feed. He's now 0 for 6. And the rebound, scrap 4-1 by Baugh, and Memphis pushes ahead. Jeffries on the run out. DJ Jeffries will go to the line. Blocking foul, despite the best efforts of Embry Simpson. Saturday, one of college basketball's greatest rivalries at noon Eastern on ESPN2 and the ESPN app. Yeah, they're playing this game. There's a little preseason jawing back and forth whether this game will be played or not. It's going to be played. Kentucky and Louisville. Kentucky might not want it to be played right now. Wildcats have won 7 of 8 against the Cardinals. But this is not the year where Kentucky wants to go into Louisville. 1-5, a 5-game losing streak for John Calipari's bunch. Their first under Calipari, and he actually tweeted today, I don't know if you saw that, Mark, on Coach Cal's Twitter, that he asked Cameron Fletcher to step away from the team for a time. Really awkward situation right now going on in Lexington. I know Kentucky always starts slow, but this seems like a particularly notable slow start.
You know what's awkward is when I ask you the question, what do Bellarmine and Kentucky have in common? Bellarmine, of course, is the fledgling Division I program in Louisville, Kentucky. Both of them,
1 win?
They both have 1 win. Just thought I'd bring that up. You're welcome, Bellarmine.
Bellarmine's victory over Howard right now stands tall in the Commonwealth.
Well,
Brandon
Louisville just got
Rochelle.
hammered.
Yeah, Louisville just got hammered by Wisconsin. 85-48 on Saturday. Chris Mack's first loss of the season.
I really like Wisconsin. I think they're a Final Four team with their guard play. Demetric Trice, Brad Davison, Nate Reavers, multi-talented guy. I really like Wisconsin a lot.
Could be a couple of Final Four teams out of the Big Ten this year. Rochelle 1 for 2. Foul was against Williams, and now another foul will go against Tulsa on the missed jumper from Nolly. Elijah Joyner picks up his 3rd.
You know, Kevin, there's a lot of discussions with officials tonight between especially players and referees, and you just sense the frustration. Now, this is how Tulsa won a year ago. They just frustrate you to the point where you start trying to do too much every possession, and then somehow they would squeeze the life out of you with that boa constrictor zone defense of Frank Haith and figure out a way to win. That's how they tied for the conference title a year ago.
Shot clock buzzer, ball misses, and the rebound to Rochelle, the all-conference player on that 13-5 Tulsa team a season ago. Rochelle trying to make something happen. No. Offensive rebound, and Rochelle is fouled before the shot. You raise a terrific point, Mark, which is that Tulsa, which is sitting here 2-3, and not a sexy program in the national landscape, won the American regular season title last year along with Houston and Cincinnati. They were going to be the 3 seed going into the conference tournament. They have been one of the most successful programs in the American. They have an all-conference player in Rochelle, who began his career at LSU. They were picked 10th last season in the American Athletic Conference preseason poll. Not a lot of teams who are picked 10th get this kind of bling at the end of the year.
Frank Haith does a tremendous job of adjusting to his talent. I mean, when he was at Missouri, he played fast. When he was at Miami, he played fast depending on the talent level. At Tulsa a year ago, they played slower, and they were in the top 30 in multiple defensive ranking segments. This coach really understands how to put the right people in the right place at the right time to give his team the best chance for success. I really admire him.
As Jackson, who might have had an open layup, instead Embry Simpson misses the three. DeAndre Williams with his 6th rebound. Up ahead, and Cisse, good to see him back in the game. He's on the floor and tied up. Tulsa will take possession over. Every year under Frank Cave, Tulsa has either surpassed or matched its preseason American Conference rank, and last year the most drastic of those. So if you are a gambling person, I would pick Tulsa to finish in the top 5 this year based on nothing other than the numbers you see at the top of your screen leading into 6th in 2020-21.
Well, ask Penny Hardaway and the Memphis Tigers how good Tulsa was a year ago as Memphis came in ranked. And Tulsa beat them 80-40 last year. 80-40. That's not a typo. And believe me, Penny Hardaway remembers it.
Memphis picked 2nd in the preseason poll this season. They were at the top of the league last year with Houston as well. And it was essentially a turning point for both teams. It was kind of the moment where everybody took Tulsa a little bit more legitimately in the league. They had an early win over Houston, a couple of wins over lesser competition too. Memphis, about a 500 team from that point on. And as Ray Idowu sticks in a bucket, he's got 9, and Tulsa has squeezed 2 within 6.
Okay, a sneaky good team this year is UCF. They knocked off Florida State. Brandon Mann went for 32 in that game. That's a pretty good night. Darren Green went off as well, real talented sophomore guard. And then SMU. I like Tim Jankovic's bunch too. Now everybody talks about Houston, and I like Houston as a Final Four team. We'll talk a little bit more American when we come back as Memphis up by 6 tonight against Tulsa.
And 3rd-ranked Kansas at Allen Fieldhouse. Those games 7 to 9 Eastern, 6 and 8 Central on ESPN2, or streaming live on your ESPN app, wherever you get that sort of thing. Memphis has not hit a shot from the field here in the 2nd half. Tulsa has hit a couple. These two teams defensively are the type of teams that draw you into yuck fests, and that's Y-U-C-K, not like a Mike Birbiglia and Tignataro kind of deal. It's been aesthetically ugly, and yet here is Tulsa down just 6 and going to the line, Mark, with Ray Idowu.
You know, oftentimes in conference games, by this time of the season, although it's been a weird year, certainly as far as preparation goes, not the same number of non-conference games, but you know your opponents so well. You have enough games. You've got a good staff that evaluates teams. It becomes who can deal with the frustration based upon preparation, because you can predict what they're going to do in advance. Therefore, you can stop it. So who can play through the frustration, especially on the defensive end, to get down in the stance even though you're frustrated offensively?
We can't see Penny Hardaway's true feelings underneath that mask. But what do you suspect he's thinking right now, Mark?
I think he's thinking right now that they're not able to get out in the open court like they like to do and run and create pace. And credit Tulsa for getting back defensively in their transition. They've been tremendous tonight.
Idowu 1 for 2 at the line. He's got 10. Memphis 5 double-figure scorers on the season. Williams leads the way with 7 right now. That's it. And another Memphis turnover. Nobody guards Haywood, and he missed another 3. Memphis has the ball with Jaden Hardaway. Williams will try to make something happen, and he will. 2 and a chance for 3.
So that open court situation came because Haywood shot it from 25 instead of stepping actually to the three-point line, which led to a long rebound, which leads to the open court. And DeAndre Williams is really good.
Was a 3-star player. A 3-star player, Mark, out of high school. Again, we talked about the meandering journey he had. 24 years old, 2nd game at Memphis. I mean, Penny Hardaway just lights up when he talks about this kid and the impact he thinks he can have on this Memphis team, which again is filled with 4- and 5-star kids. That's not what DeAndre Williams necessarily is, and they may be all the better for it.
Well, Penny Hardaway, one thing he knows, he's going to get talent. The one thing he didn't have was leadership. And Williams, with the rebound right there, he is a leader on this team.
.69 junior in his second Memphis game. He'll play a little point guard, and he'll lose the dribble, which finds its way to Damian Baugh. Baugh leans in awkwardly, way short.
Yeah, that's just an awful shot. There's frustration on offense right there.
Richie, yes, a three. Austin Richie's second three. Tulsa back within 5.
Boys, he's very capable from behind the arc. When he can make shots like he did against Northwestern State, 5 for 10 from 3, and now making the 3 ball tonight, that is huge for Tulsa.
And Williams throws it away. 14th Memphis turnover.
Now, Austin Richie shot 45% from behind the arc in junior college, but this is the American. But you know what? He can still do that. And the shot preparation right in front of the bench. And the bench knew it was down before he ever shot it. That's the level of confidence they've got in Austin Richie. Go to it again if you can.
And Frank Haight told us today, I want to see how Austin responds the game after the big game. So far, so good.
Yep.
Idowu way off the mark. Rebound to Cisse. We need to have a Foley artist in here who just has a different or brick sound for some of these shots.
That one, you could hear that one, couldn't you?
What do we got here? 3-second violation. Memphis finding new and creative ways to lose possession. That's 15 turnovers to Tulsa's 8. In this half, Mark, that's 7 Memphis turnovers, 1 field goal in 7 minutes, and they are still up by multiple possessions.
Yeah, in South Dakota, Memphis looked dysfunctional, and at times tonight offensively as well. And again, you know, in this COVID environment, you just don't get the repetitions, and it shows. Alley-oop!
Jackson on the throwdown from Joyner. Darian Jackson's first bucket comes at a key point.
Darian Jackson, a premier athlete that can match up with anybody on this Memphis team.
Ball on the drop-off. A foul as Williams drives. And we'll see if the foul is on the floor or going up.
Watch the back screen as Jackson goes right to the rim. Really well executed. As Idowu, look at that back screen. That's tremendous on DJ Jeffries. And Jeffries is saying, why didn't you call out the screen? And moves to Cisse, the freshman, says, I didn't even know it was coming.
Also very well executed, Mark Adams on the telestrator from his home office in Springboro. Outstanding job. Williams will go to the line. This is a 2-shot foul. It was Brandon Rochel's 3rd foul for Tulsa. And we'll see what Frank Haight decides to do. Rochelle is waiting, and there he goes.
By the way, Kevin, it really is cool. You're in New York. I'm in Springboro, Ohio. ESPN, their entire team of technicians, have come together to help us set up home studios in order to bring you games tonight. We miss the fans, we miss the players, we miss the coaches, but isn't it a blessing that we just get to do this together?
This is a technological marvel. There are so many folks who have worked so hard to allow us to be able to do this and to do this as safely as possible. And we don't know the vast majority of their names, but to all of them, thank you so much. We've been able to do this on baseball and football and basketball and soccer and other sports throughout the year. It's been an amazing project. Haywood, and we have a blocking foul as Curtis Haywood drives into Cisse. He was looking for a charge. Instead, he picks up his 3rd.
See if the defender establishes defensive guarding position. Yes, he does. And you say, well, he was moving, but he got his feet down. He established his position. The offensive player ran over him.
Penny Hardaway is going to leave him in after that call.
That's my opinion.
I think you should stick to that. I think that's a good opinion based on what we saw. Idowu matched up with Williams. Terrific feed. Jackson misses a three, and Williams soars for the rebound, his 8th to go with 12 points. Williams is called for a carry. Another Memphis turnover. That's 16, but the Tigers are still in front. Emotional night in Memphis.
Are you frustrated, Kevin?
A little bit, yeah. But we're doing the game from home. That's cool.
I know, it is cool. Let's keep doing it. What do you say?
All right. Is an all too familiar sight for Memphis in the last couple of seasons. Last year, 338th in the country, turned it over 22% of the time, once every 4.5 possessions. Tonight, 6 assists to 16 turnovers. And they're going to bring Lester Quinones back in the game. He came in just before the under-12 break to try to find some stability on offense.
Well, the thing is, though, the perimeter is really not the problem as far as turnovers go. We've talked a lot about DeAndre Williams, done a lot of good things, but he has 4 turnovers. Musa Cisse has 5 turnovers. That's 9 turnovers from your 4 and 5 men out of the 16. Quinones only has 1. It's great
good news for
Memphis as well.
They are plus 17 rebounds, 37-20, and they lead by 5. Jackson on the drive by Quinones is fouled. Darian Jackson will go to the free throw line. Driving around Quinones, and that is Lester Quinones, who picks up his 4th foul.
Now remember, Alex Lomax, because of injury, not because of illness, is not available tonight. And he's a guy that can make a difference as far as making solid decisions. When Alex Lomax just does the simple things, makes the singles passes versus the home run passes, he's very, very solid at the point guard position, and he can guard. He can apply ball pressure. And this is a night when Memphis could really use Alex Lomax, but he's not going to be playing at all in this game.
And he's had a major issue scoring this year, but you're right, Mark. Leads the team, more than 4 assists per game. Jackson 1 for 2. Tulsa's helping Memphis with its struggles at the free throw line. Tulsa 6 for 12 at the line tonight, and just 58% coming in on the season. Memphis has led this game pretty much from the start. It was 6-4 Tulsa. Memphis has led basically the whole way through that, and they are trying to do everything they can on offense to get this lead right back. Offensive foul on Jeffries is his 3rd.
Yeah, DJ Jeffries is just frustrated. What a great rotation there by Tulsa as Idowu steps in the transfer from Illinois State. He's got a 7'5" wingspan, so you think he may go up and try to block the shot, but instead he sacrifices for the team, goes up and draws the charge against Jeffries.
And Tulsa's going to be in the bonus the rest of the way. Memphis is there as well. Tulsa's committed 6 fouls in the half. Free throw shooting could be even more important down the stretch.
Remember, Tulsa lost their conference opener to Wichita State.
Came back from down 17, got close in the second half, but ultimately succumbed by 4. Rashad is in a really difficult game offensively. Lost it, got it back. 3 to shoot, good bounce pass, and Richie had a shot blocked, and the shot clock expires.
Well, that possession pretty much tells the game story right there. That was just an ugly, ugly possession. Both coaches trying to find some rhythm offensively, but you know what? They got to be really, really pleased with how they're executing defensively, because it's been downright stingy in Memphis tonight.
Nothing has been as pretty as the chains on the side of Frank Haith's mask, though. Jaden Hardaway. Again, deep in the shot clock for Memphis. 5 to shoot. Jeffries. Williams, good cut. Out to Baugh. And his shot no good. And the rebound for Idowu of Tulsa.
Yeah, Tulsa's more than happy now to run a little clock here and make Memphis play some defense.
Idowu on the back cut. Embry Simpson fouled. He scores. Keyshawn Embry Simpson off the contact he can bring Tulsa within 1 point.
So we've seen Ray Idowu take the charge on one end, and then a nice feed on the back cut that time to Keyshawn Embry-Simpson. Boy, Tulsa is winning the frustration war right now. They are continuing to attack and play through the tough possessions.
And Frank Haith with a fist pump of elation after the fact. Tulsa trying to jolt some energy into what has been a sleepy game. No fans in the arena. FedEx Forum as of yesterday, per local guidelines, not allowing fans into the game for COVID-19 safety. And Tulsa is still within 2, but do we have another lane violation? That's the second time on an Embry-Simpson missed free throw.
I coach 4th graders, and this doesn't happen multiple times in the game. It's unbelievable. Just lack of concentration.
And he missed it again, and it's nearly tipped in. Cisse muscles away the rebound for Memphis. Somebody, we promise you, Mark, somebody is going to win this basketball game. Who it is anyone's guess right now. Ellis up top, and Cisse with a flourish.
Boogie Ellis. Little eye contact. Go get it, Musa.
Richie around a screen. Hot trigger to Jackson. Idowu against the freshman Cisse. Double team comes, and Idowu is fouled before the shot. Tulsa will be shooting anyway.
Really good execution, pick and roll action, and right away Boogie Ellis reads it. And moves to Cisse, watch him set the screen. Long step to the rim, throw it down. Boy, that's easy.
So Emmanuel Ugbo to the line. 2-shot foul. Tulsa has now missed 8 free throws. 6 for 14 as a team. They've also missed 7 layups. And those are not all uncontested layups. Memphis is a very long team, but there are a lot of points that have been left in the ether in a game that is right now a 4-point game. And we'll go to 3 as Ugbo is 1 for 2.
Yeah, that's the good news for Tulsa. They're only down 3. They've struggled to make shots, but their defense has kept them in the game. They continue to frustrate Memphis and stay in this game. This is how Tulsa, I mean, Frank Haith just amazes me. Picked 10th a year ago, figured out a way to be a tri-conference champion along with Houston and Cincinnati.
Second foul against Idowu.
Musa Cisse, for Frank Haith, it's a tough matchup. And one of the reasons why Penny Hardaway brought it up today, that Cisse is more like an NBA big guy. He likes to pick, he likes to face the basket, he likes to attack the rim. He's not a classic back to the basket guy, which they tried to have him do earlier in the season. Now they're moving him out away from the basket, letting him play a little bit.
Penny was very candid when he spoke to us about Cisse, who goes 0 for 2. He said, I think I kind of failed him in the beginning. I had him doing the wrong thing. And he said, you know, you get Cisse playing out the perimeter, being able to handle out there. That makes him happier. He's going to block more shots. His game's going to round out. There's been some good for Cisse tonight, but he's also turned it over 5 times. Jackson, nice find. Idowu rejected, but fouled. Cisse thought he went straight up. And if the foul is on him, there were a couple of players around there. It is on him. It's his 4th foul. He'll have to join Quinones on the bench.
Usually Cisse has pretty good awareness of his body, but there's no question he came down with his right arm that time. And watch him. Yeah, he comes down.
All right, free throws. Been such an issue for Tulsa. Idowu misses. That's 7 for 16 collectively. Last of the American coming into the game, which has been contagious. Tulsa was 50 of 86. Its opponents coming into the game 50 of 88. Memphis is only 7 for 13 at the line, so neither team has excelled here. And Idowu gets the second.
Now, this is a league where you've got to play through frustration. And Houston can frustrate you. That's a team that can just turn it into a rock fight and figure out a way to win against anybody. Ask Texas Tech.
Well, here's Quinones, so it'll be a 4-foul for 4-foul swap. Cisse with the 4 fouls out. Quinones with his 4 fouls back in for Penny Hardaway. Last year's American tri-champions against the team picked to finish second this season. Memphis on top and looking to add to it. Quinones is fouled. Elijah Joyner and his 3rd foul mark.
Lester Quinones really forced that first shot. And this is what happens when you're pressing to score points. And then it becomes a one-pass offense, and I'm going to take the ball, and I'm going to make a play. And that's not how you win these games. You've really got to share the basketball. You've really got to move without the basketball. The more you play one-pass shot against Tulsa, the more you fall into their trap.
Quinones 1 for 2. Rebound tipped out and grabbed by Boogie Ellis for Memphis. Offensive rebound number 12 for the Tigers in the game.
Well, there's only 20 seconds on the shot clock. Now it's down to 7 before they ever do anything.
Ellis with 2. No. Tulsa can tie with a 3. Joyner probing. Rashal. Just 4 points in the game. Haywood for the tie. Nowhere near, and Ellis a rebound. Haywood is 0 for 5 from deep.
Just watch the number of times the ball is dribbled versus passed. You've got to get Tulsa in rotations. And here, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Do I need to keep going?
I don't know if
over a dozen dribbles right there. Now we're going to dribble it again. Against Tulsa, you're playing right into their hands right now.
Jackson finds a cutting Idowu in the matchup with Jeffries. Jackson for Joyner for the tie. That one won't go. Long rebound out to Williams. Williams with a transition take, stripped, kicked, and heading to Memphis. Cue the Benny Hill theme. Memphis leads by 3. UCF and BYU. That one will be pointsy. If you're a fan of an NFL team that needs a quarterback, watch Zach Wilson for BYU in that game. That kid's going to be a first-round pick.
Kevin, I'm thrilled that Brian Kelly and the Cincinnati Bearcats will be playing Alabama in the Final Four. I think. Wait a minute. I think he's not still there.
Right, I think Cincinnati went undefeated, but was left out, unfortunately.
Yeah, dude leaves to go to Notre Dame, and now he's in the Final Four. And Cincinnati is a better team than Notre Dame and should be in the Final Four. Luke Fickell is a better coach than Brian Kelly. And Cincinnati right now should be in the Final Four. They're undefeated, they've beaten everybody, but yet they don't get a chance. And Notre Dame gets hammered by Clemson. By the way, a lot of people would get hammered by Clemson. And Cincinnati gets no shot. Drives me crazy.
I would prefer if you gave us your honest answer next time. Give us your real leadings as Nolly hits a 3.
They're not even in the top 6. Cincinnati's not even in the top 6.
It's insane. I will say this, and it's ridiculous that Cincinnati is not at least in the top 6. This was the year the college football playoffs should have expanded to 8 with no non-conference games really to speak of. You can't compare conferences. There's so little to evaluate on. We don't need to turn this into another college football playoff talk show. Like, I have no problem with Ohio State getting in. They played 6 games, but you should have had 8 teams because it's harder to evaluate this year. That way, Cincinnati would have gotten a fair shot. Anyway, that's what we got to say about that. Justice for Cincinnati.
Major League Baseball, the Reds got in. Why? Because of the expanded format. You know, and it was good for baseball all around. The NBA,
you just want Cincinnati teams in. That's what you want, Adams. Quinones, no. And the rebound to Tulsa and Richie.
Yeah, I might be, allegedly, I'm a University of Cincinnati graduate. Allegedly.
Ooh, thunderous screen. Quinones was knocked down. Richie hits the three after Idowu just cross-checked Quinones to the floor.
Yeah, Austin Richie is starting to figure it out. He is in his rhythm. We expected him to be a downtown bomber like Jeriah Horn, who transferred to Colorado, was part of that championship team a year ago. Austin Richie filling in extremely well for the loss of Jeriah Horn.
Williams passes up a three. Nolly takes it, and Landers Nolly has finally begun to heat up for Memphis. He's hit a couple from deep. Got a whistle and a stoppage. There was a Memphis foul apparently after the play. We didn't see the exact foul. If it's on Quinones, it would be his fifth. In fact, it looks like a technical foul was called, Mark, on Landers Nolly.
Well, this is the frustration game, right? Who deals with frustration better than the other team? And Tulsa, although down 5, they seem to be kind of playing through the frustration. And Memphis, who is the home team, and I'm sure feels like they should blow this team out, but they have been frustrated by this stingy Tulsa defense.
Richie hits the 2 free throws. Again, technical foul against Nolly.
You have to wonder if maybe, we don't know for sure, but he knocked down that 3 ball. It's been a little bit chippy. Been some talk on the floor. You got to wonder if maybe somebody crossed the line a little bit. Yeah, he's got something to say to the Tulsa bench, and the official steps in, and so we will restore order and play on. Who plays through frustration will win this game.
We've had 3 3-pointers, Mark, in the last minute after 5 combined threes in the first 34. Maybe, just maybe, the game is starting to open up in the later stages as Joyner misses a wide open 2. That's my Christmas wish, anyway. Williams had space. Jeffries fouled, and he'll go to the line. Keyshawn Embry-Simpson, his 3rd foul.
This has been physical. It's been rough. It's been tough. It's been chippy at times. And here is a play that clearly shows that. Wow. Man. Somebody didn't call out a screen. Quinones is saying, who didn't call it?
That's 6'9", 243, Ray Idowu. Oh, boy. Lane violations are in vogue now. Everybody's doing them.
Yeah,
Joyner saying, hang on a second, Rashad was pushed.
Yeah. Rashad right away said, I was pushed.
It's Landers Nolly who just got the technical foul. Nolly leaning in. And Jeffries missed it anyway. Ball don't lie, I suppose. 4-point game. Tulsa has not led in the second half. Jackson, Idowu, Richie. Yes, for 3. It's a 1-point game.
What a great offensive possession by Tulsa. Idowu with the extra pass. And Austin Richie again wide open.
He had 12 points on 2 made threes in the first 4 games. He's got 33 points on 9 threes in the last 2. And 8 in a row, Mark, for Austin Richie.
This ball is moving for Tulsa. The big fella, Idowu to Austin Richie. The JUCO transfer. Splash! We got a ball game in the American.
29% committed 20 turnovers. They're not shooting or handling the ball much better today, but Tulsa has scored about half the points. And with 3.5 to go, DJ Jeffries has just turned it over, and Tulsa could take its first lead mark since 6-4 when we return. What a finish we have on tap. Western Conference Semis, 10:30. All those games streaming live on the ESPN app. Welcome back. Welcome back, NBA. I know you haven't been gone for long, but it's felt like forever. Time is meaningless here in the universe of 2020. All right, Mark, 3:20 to go. It's a one-point game. It has not been pretty unless you are a fan of defense, and Tulsa has the ball with a chance to take the lead.
Well, and let's credit both teams' defenses have been elite tonight. However, it really comes down to focus versus frustration. I sense frustration from Memphis. I sense focus from that bunch wearing the dark jerseys tonight at Tulsa. Darian Jackson with the deuce.
It is Tulsa's first lead since 6-4 at the 15:21 mark of the first half. The answer for Memphis is a missed shot from Williams and a rebound for Rashal. Tulsa possessing on a 7-0 run.
That ball moving to and fro. Jackson just found the seam and just didn't go to the rim.
A couple of times that's happened tonight. In the hands of the senior point guard Elijah Joyner out of Chicago. Joyner got Williams in the air, and he draws the foul. It's Williams' second, and Williams is still on the ground. That may have been a play in a sensitive area.
The thing I love about Elijah Joyner, he's willing to take and make big shots. Just ask Wichita State last year that was nationally ranked at Tulsa, and he hit the biggest three of the season for his team that night in front of his father, by the way. Very emotional night for the young man. DeAndre Williams is going to stay in this game. He's not leaving. Well, maybe he is.
He doesn't want to leave.
He doesn't want to leave.
Williams leads Memphis with 12. He's going to speak to Penny Hardaway, to Tony Madlock. He's going to check out of the game. Quinones will return. Two free throws, Joyner. Elijah Joyner, 66% free throw shooter last year, 8 for 15 this season.
I loved watching this kid in practice in Kansas City. Got a chance to watch Frank Hayes' team work out a couple of times. You talk about a real coach on the floor. He's so engaged, Kevin. Even when he's out of the drill, he's on the baseline. He's constantly teaching, helping his teammates. He's the real spiritual leader of this team.
And they need him on a team with 10 newcomers. They have started to shoot better here in the second half, but neither team has shot well, on pace for season lows in field goal makes. 2 minutes to play, and Tulsa the lead on the road by 3. Quinones penetrating. Good find to Jeffries, who will go to the free throw line.
You know, Quinones has done a good job as the point guard for this team. He's big, strong. He sees over defenders. He's found ways to find open teammates. But again, Alex Lomax not being available in this game has certainly had an influence on how Memphis has handled this Tulsa defense.
Jeffries just 1 for 4 at the line tonight. Last season, a 74% free throw shooter. Alex Lomax watches on as Jeffries hits the first.
I haven't made free throw now. It'll be interesting to see if Memphis goes a little full court pressure, tries to speed up Tulsa a little bit.
Williams back in the game, would you?
Absolutely yes. Especially when you've got the range and athleticism of these Memphis dudes. I'm going to sell out this possession. But when you miss the free throw, you can't do it.
Talked about Tulsa's free throw shooting woes earlier. Memphis is now 9 for 19. They've missed 6 of their last 8 free throws. Whichever team loses is going to leave a lot of points on the board. Rashal trying for a stuff. Instead, it's an offensive foul, his 4th foul, and a Tulsa turnover.
Boy, that was a big-time cut by Brandon Rashal. Read the defender perfectly. And what a rotation by DeAndre Williams. Ooh, that's close.
What do you think? Did he get there in time?
He's definitely outside the arc. His feet are outside the arc. And that's what they have to review. They will review.
Yeah, the officials can review this to see if Williams was in the arc or not. If he is, it's instantaneously a block.
Yeah, his feet are definitely outside the arc now. Did he establish a guarding position before Rashal took off? I honestly don't think so.
That call is confirmed. Again, you can review if he was outside the arc.
Yeah, it's confirmed because the call was made and it happened to be outside the arc. As far as being confirmed with the right call, I might question that one a little bit.
I'm with you. It's a dangerous play that quickly when somebody's going up. Luckily for Williams, who just left the game after taking a little bit of a beating, he's back in and he's okay, and his team has the ball down 2.
I mean, think about that. DeAndre Williams just took a shot in the groin, and now he steps in and tries to take the charge. That takes some guts.
All right, what do you want to see on this possession for Memphis?
You know, I like the ball movement early in this possession. You know, watch for DeAndre Williams going to the offensive glass, and DJ Jeffries has to be your focal point.
It'll be Ellis instead, a wrong-footed shot.
That's a bad shot. Bad decision, bad shot.
Tulsa with 1:15 to go, 3 timeouts. The possession arrow belongs to Memphis.
Watch Elijah
Golden Hurricane up 2.
Number 3 in black late in the possession. He'll drive with his head up.
Joyner head up, finds Jackson. Jackson on the cut, and Jackson scores with a foul against Jeffries.
So you got a Memphis possession where a point guard keeps his head down and goes right to the rim and doesn't see anybody that's open. You got a Tulsa possession with a point guard like Elijah Joyner, who's been in every big game situation, finds Darian Jackson, a great finisher, and sees the rotation of the defense. He can take advantage of it and gets the assist on the play.
Frank Cave told us Darian Jackson epitomizes what every college basketball player should be. He's patient. The growth he's made from year 1 to year 4, extraordinary, and he has given Tulsa a 4-point lead. Only 4 off the missed free throw, under 50 seconds to play. Nolly, been very quiet of late, off his own miss, gets the ball back, out of bounds, and the basketball belongs to Tulsa.
Tulsa has played with focus over the last 8 minutes of this game. As this game got a little bit of chippy, it got frustrating for Memphis, and Tulsa, all they did was refocus on what they do. Defend like crazy, move the ball, be unselfish on offense, and now ready to knock off the team that was picked for 2nd in the preseason poll.
Officials are reviewing. Sorry, Mark, I don't know, but he does it every year. The question, maybe the question should be, how do the folks who are voting on the American preseason poll do it and continuously underestimate Tulsa? This play is being reviewed. The call was out of bounds off of Memphis, and it looks like that's in the left hand of Nolly last.
Brandon Rashal was just a pest. And that's how Tulsa does. I mean, Frank Haith last year, this team was picked for 10th and figured out a way to tie for the conference championship. This year, I saw him about 3 weeks ago, at the Hall of Fame Classic in Kansas City, and they were feeling their way. They had a good perimeter players. They didn't have anybody inside like Idowu, but yet somehow Frank Haith puts parts and pieces together as the season goes along. Tulsa gets incrementally better, and they're going on the road tonight with a chance to knock off Memphis.
And at the 4:32 mark of this game, Landers dialing it a 3, and that gave Memphis a 44-38 lead. And at least one of us wondered aloud, well, is the game going to open up now? 3 threes in a minute. It did not for Memphis. From that point on, Tulsa has gone on an 11-1 run. And Frank Haith's team is 41.2 seconds now from closing this thing out. Remember, though, Tulsa has really struggled at the free throw line, 12 for 22 collectively. And Memphis has 6 players on the court, which is illegal, even though a lot of rules have changed in 2020. That's still not one of them. Damian Baugh checks back out. And now Damian Baugh is going to check back in, maybe?
Yeah.
All right. Baugh's in. Jaden Hardaway is out. Rashal will inbound. And Rashal will inbound to Joyner. Joyner is fouled by Baugh. Elijah Joyner 2 for 2 at the line today, 9 for 16 on the season, 66% last year.
And strong with the basketball. I thought he would be the biggest key versus the Memphis pressure. Now, we haven't seen a lot of the Memphis pressure because they haven't scored enough to get into their full court package. Even off of made free throws. That's been a tough thing tonight. But Elijah Joyner's come up huge in late game situations.
Well, he leaves the door open by missing the first. Tulsa 12 for 23 now as a team at the line. Jackson checks back in.
Still a lot of time in this game, and Memphis just can't panic offensively. Stay in attack mode, but don't force anything.
And Richie will check back out. Frank Haith goes with his best defensive lineup. Up by 5, 37.6 to go. Nolly.
Trying to find Nolly.
His pass taken away. Jackson with a steal. Jackson with a drive. And Jackson with a score. And maybe the put-away basket.
A lazy pass, and Darian Jackson was more than happy to take advantage of it.
Williams will get to the line. Jackson commits a foul with 22.4 to go after Jackson adds to the Tulsa lead with a steal and score.
Yeah, this is a telegraphed lazy pass. See how Nolly's just looking at his target, and Darian Jackson reads his eyes and just jumps the route. This is a huge, huge win if Tulsa can hold on now, up 7 for Tulsa. They lost at home to Wichita State. They've struggled, quite frankly, early in the season, but somehow Frank gets his team better every week. They learn from mistakes, and now up 6 with 22.4 to go.
It's a 14-2 run. Williams 1 for 2 at the line. I'm sorry if we sound like a broken record, but Memphis now 10 for 21 at the free throw line. And Idowu is going to the line for Tulsa. The story of tonight, we'll tell it in one graphic. Well, raise a glass to defense, I suppose. But
the
this
free throw defense has been outstanding. Look, Tulsa's 13 for 24, and Memphis is 10 for 21 from the free throw line.
And you don't want to make too much out of one game here. It's early. This is a weird year. COVID-19. Teams are stagnant. Memphis is still young. All that being said, I understand every bit of it. Memphis basketball, you're a Memphis fan, you hope they're going in the right direction. Penny Hardaway signs a 5-year extension today. The administration's certainly saying yes, they are. And the problems that have plagued Memphis the last couple of years, turnovers, lack of offensive fluidity, And they have reared their head again against a Tulsa team that'll make you pay dearly for those.
And credit Tulsa. They lose to Wichita State. They come back, beat Northwestern. And Austin Richie got it going in that game. He kept it going. He was a huge factor in this game against Memphis tonight. And, you know, Kevin, this is a tough-out league. I saw NcaaAF going to Cincinnati and tough out a win. You look at Houston and their culture of toughness. Tulsa, they are toughing out a win here tonight. The toughest team won tonight. It's that simple.
In the second half, Penny Hardaway has seen his team hit 4 field goals. 4 field goals in 19 minutes, 50 seconds of play. They have turned it over 12 times in that span. And Tulsa is ending the game on what is currently a 17-2 run. Joyner 2 for 2. He's gone 5 of 6 from the line. Ellis. And Memphis hits his 5th field goal of the half, and Penny Hardaway will take a timeout.
Memphis, 30-second timeout.
We talked to Penny earlier today, Mark. He is brutally honest in terms of his team's performance. He's also bullish on his team, and he says, I think if we do the small things, we take charges, get rid of the ball, play for our teammates, I think we're a top 5 team in the country. That's kind of the swagger and the smoke with which Penny Hardaway is always operating. He's had a fantastic career because of it. Tonight is just not a night where they look like a top 5 team in the conference. Clearly they have a lot to figure out after this game.
Yeah, they just got their wisdom teeth extracted tonight. Now they got to wake up tomorrow morning with sore jaws and weather the anesthetic and figure out a way to get better.
Tulsa's fewest made field goals in a win since back in February against South Florida. Frank Haith's team has struggled this season, but they win their first conference game, and they went on the road and they beat Memphis for the 2nd time this calendar year. 56-49 the final. Tulsa with a road win. You'll take those any way you can get them in 2020. For Mark Adams, our entire crew, Kevin Brown, so long from Memphis, where the Hurricane get the win.